Hey guys, today we're going to be focusing on interpreting division problems as fractions. So these types of problems are going to look really familiar to you from your most recent TE21 test. Now the answers are going to look a little funny, but it's going to make a lot of sense once we understand how to work it out. Now before we do that, let's take a look at a division problem like we normally work it out. We might say 6 divided by 2 equals 3. And we need to remember what we call all of these parts. So if we do it in our little division house like you would normally do it, this is how it would look. The one on the inside of our little division house is the dividend because it is on the inside of the house. The one on the outside of the house is the divisor. And the one on the top is the quotient. These are important words to remember. It's also important to remember we could write it as 6 divided by 2. Now, you might also say, Miss Wilson, that is a fraction. It's an improper fraction. Absolutely. 6 divided by 2 or 6 over 2 is a fraction because you would work it out just like that. You would look at this as an improper fraction or a number greater than 1, and you would work it out just like your normal division problem. And that's going to be the key to these problems. We are first going to write it like this as an improper fraction, and then we are going to transition and find the actual answer. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one of your notes says a teacher had 45 starbursts that she wanted to divide evenly among 25 students. How many starbursts would each student get? So you know that to work this problem out, you would say your 45 starbursts divided among 25 students. I'm glad you know how to work it out, but first you have to put the actual improper fractions. What you're going to say is you're going to say 45 starbursts divided among 25 students. And the most important thing to remember, you cannot forget the number that goes on top. Since it is the dividend, it is the part that is divided up. I can cut up those 45 starbursts and give them to the students, but I cannot cut up the 25 students and give them to the 45 starbursts. The number that you're going to cut up or divide always goes on top. So your answer for this one would be 45 over 25, but you know we're going to have to solve it. So you should write 45 over 25 on your paper. And then let's go ahead and get solving. We know that 25 can go into 45 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. Let's subtract. We're going to get 20. So I know that my answer is going to be 1, because that's the answer, the quotient, and 20 over 25. Remember, when you're making that fraction, you're going to put the remainder over the divisor. So you've got your remainder over divisor. And you know, we can simplify that by dividing by 5. So that would get me 1 4/5. So 45 over 25 equals 1 4/5. Let's do that again with your next problem. John had 4 candy bars he wanted to divide between himself and 5 friends. What fraction of a candy bar will each friend get? So again, we've got our 2 numbers here. We've got 4 and 5, but I hope you caught it. We've got himself and 5 friends, so really we've got 4 and 6. Now, the number that goes on top of the fraction is going to be the one that gets divided. So, are we going to cut up the candy bars and give it to John and his friends, or are we cutting up John and his friends and giving it to the candy bars? Of course, we're going to cut up the candy bars. So you're going to have 4 over 6 because 4 candy bars cut up and given to John and his 5 friends. We know we can simplify that by simply dividing by 2, and we're going to have 2/3. So that means that each friend will get 2/3 of a candy bar. Let's go ahead and do some more, but I'm going to have you start answering. Carly has 11 treats to divide evenly among her 4 cats. How many treats will each cat get? So for this one, I want you to put in the answer just the improper fraction. Just the fraction before it is solved. Go ahead and put that answer in. All right, now let's take a look at it. Is she going to divide her 11 treats or divide her 4 cats? I really hope you said 11 treats. That would get us 11 over 4. 11 treats divided among 4 cats. Now go ahead and solve it. For your answer, you should have put 11 divided by 4. 4 can go in 11 2 times. That's 8. With 3 left over, 2 3/4 treats per cat. We know that 11/4 also equals 2 3/4. Let's move on to another one. Miriam has 15 cups of lemonade to share equally with her 9 friends. How much lemonade will each friend get? I want you to go ahead and find the fraction first before we solve. Your fraction should have been 15 over 9 because you are splitting up the 15 cups and sharing with her 9 friends. It doesn't say her and her 9 friends, so we know it is 9. Now I'll go ahead and solve it. For this one, you should have put 15 divided by 9. 9 can go into 15 one time with 6 left over. 1 6/9. We can simplify that to 1 2/3 cups per friend. So that means each friend is going to get 1 2/3 cups. Let's do another one. A baker has 9 cups of chocolate chips to divide among 5 pans of brownies. How many cups will be in each pan? Go ahead and write the fraction before you solve. For this one, you should have known you had 9 cups to divide among the 5 pans of brownies. If you had written it the other way, then that would have meant you had 5 pans of brownies to divide among the 9 cups of chocolate chips. But we're not cutting up the brownies and putting them in the chocolate chips. We're dividing up the chips and putting them in the brownies. So I hope you got 9 over 5. Go ahead and solve it. For this one, you should have put 9 divided by 5. And if we subtract that out, you get 1 4/5 cups of chocolate chips per brownie pan. Let's do one more. A chef has 32 strawberries to decorate 19 pies. How many strawberries can go on each pie? Go ahead and write the improper fraction. For this one, you should have put 32 divided by 19 because 32 strawberries get cut up and distributed among the 19 pies. Go ahead and solve it. You should have done 23 divided by 19. Going one time. Remainder is 4. 1 4/19. Remember, it's remainder over divisor. I hope that's what you got as well. Make sure you glue this into your notebook, and it's time to get started on your classwork.